A platform that provides both on-ground and digital sales support with over 20 crore products on offer. So what makes Global Garner the world's first and only post-paid sales service provider? Find out in our conversation with the founder and CEO of Global Garner, Vikas Rawat.
One of the leading challenges in the retail sector is, of course, bridging the gap between the consumer and the vendor.
Correct.
What approach are you taking at Global Garner to do just that?
The primary objective of Global Garner is to create an ecosystem which helps people sell their product, first of all.
Right.
And by saying this, I do not mean that we are building a technology to do it. Because there is a huge gap when you talk about people being empowered to do transaction online.
That's right.
Right? So what we are trying to do here is that we are empowering some segment of the society to enable this connect. We have channel partner on one hand, we have our UPOs on another hand. So with help of these two people, we are actually connecting the vendor to the buyer. Typically speaking, like let's say today someone wants to buy something from Amazon. Let's say my mom.
Sure.
She'll not be able to do that card thing, doing financial transaction, whatever, right? But if I give her a number whom she can just call and get that thing done by him, and top of it, she need not to pay anything extra for this service. Right? So she will be more inclined to calling this guy and asking him to service that. And the interest of the consumer is that we are also providing the cashbacks. So which is another addition that first of all, I need not to pay any service charge to this guy who is actually doing the service for me. Secondly, I also get extra cashback.
As a consumer. Well, in terms of the benefits for the consumer, if they're able to, as a part of the Global Garner ecosystem, receive anywhere from 2% to 100% cash back on their shopping experiences, what is the monetization strategy that's powering all this?
Look, our monetization strategy is really simple. What we have done is we have done a 3 segment of whatever earning we are having from these vendors. Of course, as a vendor, first of all, you are positive that, okay, your product is going to sell. Once the product is sold, then only we are seeking that commission. Once your commission arrives to Global Garner, we do 3 parts of this. One goes to the consumer, 50 to 60% of our commission goes to the consumer as cashback.
Sure.
There is an algo in the software which maintains this ratio. Second is the partner who is actually doing this transaction for us will also get a benefit out of it. 20 to 30% goes to him and 10 to 20% remains with the company for our regular operations.
Right.
So this is very simple. So we are not burning any money to acquire a user or doing anything which is not logical enough for us to burn money and acquire users. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, many end consumers think of Global Garner as a digital mall, if you will, with over 20 crore products on offer.
Right.
So what distinguishes Global Garner from them, from the entire universe of e-commerce destinations they can visit?
E-commerce ecosystem, there is a consumer behavior change which is required. Let's say if I want to buy something from maybe any online website, I need to be a net savvy guy. Whereas what Global Garner is doing is, Global Garner is impaneling all type of shopping resorts for a consumer in single platform. So I need not to tell you that if you want to shop at Big Bazaar, now start shopping at somewhere else. You will go to Big Bazaar only or Shoppers Stop only or Pantaloons only, and I'm not changing your behavior. Right? Same with online websites. We are not saying you need to be preferred with some online websites or going more miles ahead. We have also empaneled local vendors which are nearby your home or maybe office. So now you can shop at any place. All 3 resorts are there where you can, as a consumer, go and buy.
Sure.
So which makes us very different from a typical e-commerce environment. We are not only an e-commerce company, we actually are the sales service provider company, wherein a local vendor, a giant brand like Big Bazaar, Shoppers Stop, or maybe Flipkart or Amazon's can come and sell their products. And best part of the ecosystem is that there is a person who is actually enabling all these transactions, which is our universal point of sales.
What's also so remarkable about Global Garner is that vendors that are a part of this ecosystem are able to cross-sell each other's products, but without incurring any sort of inventory expense or cost. What makes that possible?
The digital environment which we have created enable us to first of all source that inventory from our vendors.
Sure.
Because for coming on Global Garner as vendor, first a vendor need not to pay anything. We are digitalization of the entire inventory help us to give an extension to a person who wants to sell their product. So now I need not to know the trade to do that trade. Typically speaking, let's say if I am an electronics store owner, I have consumers coming in who are actually buying electronics from me. But the same consumer is also a consumer of maybe groceries, maybe light bill, maybe mobile bill, maybe a travel ticket, or maybe whatever. He's spending in lot many things. He wants loans also. But as a electronics store owner, I am not able to service them. But now with this UPOS, the new era of shopping, or you can say a mall, I am able to sell all these 20 crore products and services which are already present on Global Garner. And going forward, the more vendors come in, they will start doing the inter-exchange of their businesses. So now if you are also doing a business, I can sell your business, because end of the day you are doing business to gain more sales.
Right.
So now everybody starts complementing each other rather competing with each other.
Absolutely.
Right? So this is I think the biggest USP of Global Garner's UPOS is that we are creating a world's biggest inter-exchange of businesses, where a person need not to invest anything into anyone's business to do business on their inventory. He has to just be a middleman for that transaction. He also earns, that brand is also happy because he's getting new sales, and the consumer is also happy because he gets the cashback options which are not there. And these are not promotional offers.
For our benefit, tell us more about the underlying technology that is powering the Global Garner platform.
When we talk about technology, it has to be very simple, first of all, because we want everyone to be part of this ecosystem, right? We have our Android app also, we have an iOS app also, and the UPOS that we have built, which is Universal Point of Sales, is totally a URL based, a cloud-based technology that we have built. So as a UPOS partner, you need not to have any specific hardware to operate on that thing. So you can log into any of the web browsers, mobile or maybe tab, anywhere. You can just keep a key, log in and start selling the product or services. So it is as simple. Secondly, being a digital platform, how a UPOS enables any person to shop anywhere in the country without him coming to this UPOS. Because both the environments are created by Global Garner.
Right.
User app is also by Global Garner and the UPOS is also by Global Garner. Sure. So best part of the ecosystem is my consumer need not to face me to do the transaction. He can be sitting in any part of the country and order me anything that he wants, and I can sit here and do the service to him.
Sure.
So which is the biggest part of our software's easiness, that any consumer can connect any UPOS and any UPOS can connect any user across India. So I can now tell you, go to any Chroma of Delhi and do whatever you want to do as shopping, and we will enable that. So this is something which was never there. Right. You might have purchased any franchise of any brand, but you were limited to that franchise.
Sure.
Digitalization has helped us to build an ecosystem. Now I need not to restrict myself to a particular geography. I can do transaction across country to any of my users, because the digital environment helps me to do that.
Well, Global Garner is, of course, also widely credited with pushing the agenda for digital literacy.
Right.
In that many end consumers that previously had no exposure to online transactions are now getting their first taste of it and building their comfort around it and their confidence around it. How do you respond to that?
Of course, look, again, we are not inclined to get a users on board by doing a digital thing. We want a mediator who can be our partner or UPOS partner who's actually doing that transaction. So you need not to trust the technology or the brand or anything. This guy who is a middleman, who is actually your trusted one, you can just guide him, I want a Nike shoe, maybe from Flipkart, Amazon or whatever, and he will do that transaction for you. So he is literate enough to understand the ecosystem of internet, and you as a simple buyer just guide him what you want, and he will do that transaction for you, on which he is earning, you are earning cashback, and in return everybody in the ecosystem is empowering each other.
And many people have found a way to make a living from Global Garner, whether it comes to supplementary income or even their source of primary income. It's essentially making entrepreneurs financially free.
Right.
Was that always part of its original design?
Yes. We have been very instrumental in making other companies from small to big, big to large. But as a consumer, we never had an option to earn from it. Today, we only spend to forget.
Right.
What Global Garner is enabling a user or a middleman is that now you start earning on those things which you were doing as a charity to anyone.
Sure.
If I could take an example, let's say Ola, Uber, when they came in, you referred your friends and family to Ola, Uber. Why? Because you also used to get a ride of maybe 500 to 50 rupees and your friend also gets a free ride, right?
Sure.
But after that, once Ola, Uber are bigger giants and whatever, like Gmail, WhatsApp, it was always you referred that, right? But there is no earning now. Whereas what Global Garner is trying to do is, first of all, creating that middleman who will do these digital transactions for you. So you are safe enough, you know a person, first of all, with whom you are doing the transaction. Secondly, the extra earning that you are getting by using the same product and services which you were using since long.
Sure.
We are not saying that now this is a new product, you need to buy this or whatever. We are just saying that whatever you used to do, just keep on doing that, and by just referring Global Garner to people, you can earn more than ₹1 crore now. Without even referring, you are still eligible to earn 2% to 100% cashback, which is a real cashback which you can take back to your bank account.
So the Global Garner user acquisition strategy has been largely demand driven purely by organic growth.
Right.
Is that the strategy you intend to pursue going forward?
Of course, I have always believed things always are very healthy when they grow organically. I might put in a 10,000 crore rupee budget to acquire users, but that doesn't mean that I will retain that.
Sure.
But if we are able to empower people to earn from a system by servicing their surroundings, that makes much more sense. Like, I come from an insurance background. We used to create agencies to get new businesses,
sure,
right?
Sure.
Because this agency guy used to sell the insurance policy to his surroundings, right? Now we have built an ecosystem with Global Garner where now this middleman can service anything and everything for his surroundings, right? Because everybody doesn't have that knowledge or capabilities to do that transaction. Plus, if he has also, then might not be the time. So now he has a middleman who will do that transaction for him, and result is that everybody is empowered in the ecosystem.
So, sir, very curious to understand, what are your expansion plans for Global Garner going forward in India and beyond?
We are trying to have a very strong foothold in India. We are expanding to many states. We have just been recruiting new channel partners with us, and hopefully by next year you will see us in every part of India. First of all, going forward, once we have a very strong foothold in India, maybe 2 years, 3 years down the line, we will of course go to other parts of the world. Why? Because we want a UPOS, which is our universal point of sales, to do a transaction worldwide.
Well, sir, today Global Garner is a brand to reckon with. But if you were to look back to your earlier days, when you initially started this venture and perhaps faced some struggle, How do you reflect back on that time?
I'll say that first of all, the entire process was in my head, but this entire process needs to be digitalized.
Sure.
So I needed an IT team, but most of the time, like I'm not an IT guy, so I need to build that team from zero. The first challenge was to build the technology, because this technology has to be given to people who will actually take the transaction forward. Second was, in very early stage of our starting, we got a very good response because there was nothing to lose type of environment. So everybody was connected to us.
Right.
But at the same time, we faced a very severe thing, like a big corporate. We showed them the entire project, they got interested, but somehow our terms could not match, so we withdraw from that deal. But that has backfired us. We have just begun, and that corporate has taken away our entire staff, our main sales head, and then the team could not stay with us, maybe because of some lucrative incentives by them and all. So I think that was the biggest challenge that we have faced during this almost 3 years journey in operations now. But what I see as an opportunity or an advantage of Global Garner is, if there is something which such a big corporate wants to copy, there might be something in us which is right?
Sure.
Our people got some packages which were like almost 6 times, 8 times higher than what they were getting here. So again, it was an added advantage for us. I'd look at it as an opportunity that there is something that our people are getting hired by that brand on such high scales, right? So I think in last 1.5 years, we have faced a very strong struggle. But of course, now we have built another team which has totally a different IQ level, who understands there is nothing in short term, but long term there is something which will give them a financial independence.
Now, sir, by way of closing comments, the Global Garner tagline is, of course, "Aap sabka business, hamara business."
Right.
What's the legacy that you'd like for this brand to leave behind ultimately?
Of course, as I always believe that it is always good to have people running the business rather than the technology. Technology has a very crucial role to play, but when we connect people, we change lives. Sure. 100 rupees cashback will not bother a single user, but 100 rupees earning from a single user for a UPOS, and he has a 500 family to service, he is earning almost 50,000 rupees a month,
right,
which makes this platform a very beautiful thing to have. Like, there is nothing called wherein you can trade in any business. Like today, if you want to sell Bata, you have to buy a Bata franchise.
Right.
But now, without buying a Bata franchise, if you are able to sell him, because Bata needs more sales, Bata needs more customers, you are able to give them. So this would be a self-sustainable sales ecosystem where a vendor will not be bothered to walk in any of our offices and get enrolled, because he need not to pay us anything upfront. The biggest part of the ecosystem. As a vendor, I give a product to Global Garner when they sell, and again, the biggest USP is he is sold by people. He is beyond boundaries. Now sitting in Ahmedabad, he can sell his product maybe in Jaipur, maybe in Kolkata, and without investing anything, which is the biggest part for any vendor to come in, correct? Oh. Secondly, the user who was there to only spend, without doing any investment or any such scheme, he can just spend and start earning from it without referring to 100%. If he can refer, he can earn a crore rupee, right? So I think without a doubt, we have created that thing that now you can actually say ab sabka business hai apna business, and there is no risk. क्योंकि हर कस्टमर, हर वेंडर एक चीज तो जरूर आपको बोल सकता है, ग्लोबल गार्नर से एसोसिएट होने से मेरा जाता क्या है, राइट? Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Global Garner is a new concept, new phase of shopping in India.
Global Garner is actually, working with 136 brands right now, and it is ever growing.
In the kind of depressed markets that we are in, the biggest challenge that presents every trade, every seller is not only to get the customer, but to get a loyal customer.
वैसे तो बहुत से आपने प्लेटफॉर्म देखे होंगे जहाँ पे ऑनलाइन कंपनीज हैं जो अपना प्रोडक्ट बेचने के लिए तरह तरह के विज्ञापन देती हैं, हर तरह से आपको किसी ना किसी तरह से डिस्काउंट या कैशबैक ऑफर करती हैं. बट क्या कभी आपने सुना कि कोई कंपनी आपको 100% तक का कैशबैक ऑफर करे? जी हाँ दोस्तों, ये पॉसिबल है ग्लोबल गार्नर के थ्रू.
एंड आई ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू अवॉइड नो ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग. बाबा, पता नहीं कब चीटिंग हो जाए. But when I came across concept of global Garner, मुझे सही में लगने लगा है कि कोई व्यक्ति है, कोई कंपनी है जो मुझे समझती है, मेरी नीड को समझती है और बहुत ऑथेंटिक तरीके से, बहुत विश्वास से वो मुझे कहती है परचेस कर लो, क्योंकि जो यहाँ है वो और कहीं नहीं है।
ग्लोबल गार्नर बिजनेस का एक रेवोल्यूशन है, एक क्रांति है जो आज के समय में बिजनेस के लिए, लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी बन के आया है। ये एक ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट है जो शायद आने वाले समय में दुनिया का रुख बदल देगा। जितने लोग जो इसको समझना चाहते हैं, मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि ये समय है इसका हिस्सा बने और अपनी ज़िंदगी को बदले।
Global Garner's UPOS platform enables me to sell 20 crore products through online and offline. So I can enable my local vendors and even mega brands like Amazon, Flipkart, and Big Bazaar, many others which is well-known brand. I can sell them to UPOS and I can earn folds of income through UPOS system.
The current market scenario, nobody is targeting the local vendor. Global Garner Sales Service Private Limited is one and only company which are targeting the local vendors in the current scenario.
In Global Garner, we are trying to make a sustainable ecosystem which will empower all.
Global Garner actually is a very different concept as far as like other e-commerce platforms are concerned. Like other e-commerce platforms help vendors to sell their products, but what we are doing is we are helping them to sell themselves, because we actually connecting customers to vendors directly.
In Global Garner, we share values, standards and work as a team, and we believe that we are not just a team but we are a family.
Here at the Global Garner, सबका business है अपना business.
With a business model rooted in incentivizing the customer and a corporate culture that empowers employees, Global Garner is creating a dynamic sales support ecosystem that promises to leave no shopper or vendor behind.